Hi there, wanted to introduce you to our hamster Whiskers. This is Whiskers' habitat. We got Whiskers a little over a year ago from the Animal Welfare League of Arlington, AWLA in Shirlington, and he's been living happily in this habitat since then. If you're deciding on a hamster, we would encourage you to go bigger on the enclosure or the cage so that the little guy or girl has a place to run around. Bigger is better because out in the wild there are no boundaries, and hamsters at one time were wild. Anywho, let me show you. This enclosure is actually a display case from IKEA. It's called Detolf. D-E-T-O-L-F, Detolf. And the new one is about $69. We did not put the doors on it, and we took the shelves out and we just laid it on its side. And it makes a very nice enclosure. We also built these lids so that there's plenty of ventilation, and so the little guy cannot escape. Because as much as we want to think he loves us, if he had the opportunity to head out, he probably would. So this is the inside of the habitat. As you can see, there's plenty of bedding. I'm going to show you. There's probably couple inches anyway of this very nice bedding. It's called Carefresh, and we order ours from Amazon. Change his bedding about every 2 weeks. You could stretch it to 3 as long as you do a little maintenance on the poopy side. And this is Timothy hay because it smells good. And this is a little cardboard roll that we cut the end off to make a tunnel for him. And this is his little sleeping quarters. He seems to really like it. Let's take a look, see if he's in there. Are you in there? You are in there. And you're sleeping. Can I go back to bed, please? Yes, you can. So, hamsters are nocturnal, and they like to sleep in the daytime. Here's his water bottle. Here's his food dish. Of course, you have to have a hamster wheel, which is what a lot of us feel like we are running on all the time in our lives. But hamsters actually do run on them at night. So it's best to not have your hamster enclosure in a bedroom, or get one of the hamster wheels that is whisper quiet. And they do make very quiet hamster wheels. There are a few tunnels here so he can run under them and over them. Sometimes we see him sitting on top of the tunnels, contemplating his life, I think, and maybe devising an escape plan. Also, plenty of fresh water, another tunnel, and a little litter box with litter in it. So you can somewhat not train, but offer a hamster the opportunity to use a litter box, and they may about half the time, which is better than none. And then another little spinny wheel, a chew toy, mentioned the water dish, other chew toys, some healthy food. This is actually the kind of food that the vet recommends. Not anything with a lot of dyes in it. They do like seeds. And every day he gets fresh food at bedtime. When we get ready to go to bed, we will give Whiskers either a little, some romaine lettuce he loves, a little bit of carrot, a little bit of apple. Of course, anything that you give him you'd want to make sure it's cleaned. And he seems pretty happy. Another thing that I wanted to show you, and here's the lid that just folds back down. We actually made these. And I had the wood pieces cut at Home Depot to the length I needed. And then all I used was a staple gun to put it together, and some wood screws. The hardest part was actually cutting the mesh. That kind of can mess your hands up if you're not careful. And the back of his habitat is on the back of the glass. We have a desert scape for his viewing enjoyment. The other thing is that at night we turn this little blue, don't know if it's necessary, we turn this little blue lantern on, and it puts out a little dim light, which we think might seem like moonlight to him in an otherwise completely dark room. And then another thing is this thermometer that we have in the room, because you don't want your hamster's room to be too hot or too cold. The ideal temperature is between 65 and 75 for a hamster, so that is also something to consider. Okay, he is gone back to sleep, and this is a little home tour of our hamster Whiskers' home. We love him very much. Now go back to bed, Whiskers. Good night.